Electric bicycles, whether you love them or loathe them, they're here to stay. Last year in the Netherlands, there was more electric bikes sold than conventional bikes. In the Netherlands, the home of cycling. In 2018, in Europe alone, there was 2.6 million electric bicycle sales, and that number is only forecasted to rise. So, what makes e-bikes so popular? What makes them so special? Why is the world seeking electrical assistance? Thankfully, I was lucky enough to get my hands on a brand new Ribble Endurance SLE, E meaning electric. The roughly 11.6 kilometer bike wields an e-bike motion X35 system that's operated with the single touch of a button on the top tube. There are 4 different levels to choose from: white, green, amber and red. These levels can be adjusted through the e-bike motion phone app, but as standard, white is assistance off, green 25% or around 70 watts, amber 50% which is around 150 watts, and finally red 100% which is equivalent to an added 250 watts. But in real life terms, what does this actually mean? How easy or hard is it to ride an e-bike? Can you still get fit from riding an e-bike? I wanted to find out. So I have got 2 bikes here. Firstly, I've got the conventional Ribble Endurance SL, and then secondly, I've got the Ribble Endurance SLE. And in order to conduct this test, to conduct this experiment, I'm going to be using the Whoop band, which is going to calculate my heart rate, and from that it will create a training stress load from the activity. We're going to do the exact same route, the exact same distance for both of these tests. And I know that using heart rate isn't the most accurate or best way to do this, but it can still be interpreted in some sort of way. And the data collected from the first ride, which is going to be on the conventional road bike, is just going to act as a benchmark and the base point for the second ride, which is going to be on the electric bike. All right, here we go, we're off. So the route that I'm going to be doing is going to be around 18 to 20 miles. For the first half, it's going to be mostly flat. And then the second half is going to be a little bit hillier. Now I have got a power meter on this bike, which means I have got the data if I want to, but I'm not going to look at it, I'm not going to use it, I'm just going to go completely off feel. I'm a pretty experienced cyclist, I think I kind of know what an endurance or zone 2 pace is just in my head, so I'm just going to ride at what I think is a pretty comfortable and sustainable pace. I've got my Whoop band on, which is currently collecting the data. 'It's a little bit windy this afternoon, and without a motor I can feel every single pedal stroke. So I've not got a whole lot to report on so far. It feels like a pretty normal ride, just tapping along. It's a lovely afternoon, the sun's out. Okay, so that's pretty much the flat part of the ride done. We're into the second half now, and we're starting to go up a climb. This first was only a short one at like a minute or so, but I'm still having to try a little bit harder to get up it. As you can probably tell my voice. Here we go, this is Stony Lane. Now I have got one of the fastest times up here in like 3.5 minutes, but I think today's going to be more like 5. The first bit's real steep. It gets real steep and then it flattens off and then gets steep at the end. So yeah, it's a pretty relentless 3, 4, 5 minutes, and I'm going to have to put the GoPro away because I'm getting out of breath. 11%. This is probably 12. This is the steepest part of the climb before it flattens out at the top. Ooh! No matter how easy you try and go up this climb, it's never easy. According to the Strava live segment on my Wahoo, we did that climb there in 5 minutes and 53 seconds. Okay, so the Whoop band has collected all of the data and sent it to my phone. As you can see, the workout with a training stress score of 13. Whoop marks exercise out of a figure of 21. 21 being you putting your body under the absolute maximum physical capacity physical effort that you can do in one single day. So 13 is quite a moderate score, and it's pretty standard and pretty representative of a casual 1 hour ride. As you can also see on the Wahoo, that ride took us 56 minutes. It was 27.9 kilometers, and we did it at an average power of 226 watts. Again, that's all pretty standard. Now it's actually the following day right now. It started to get a little bit dark yesterday evening, so I didn't want to ride in the dark. But it's time to get some electrical assistance. We're going to be using 100% assistance on the e-bike. There we go, we got red, ready to go. So I'm taking on exactly the same route that I did on my normal bike. Again, like yesterday, I'm not really thinking about the pace, my power. I'm just riding at a pace that is comfortable. So far we've done about 4 or 5 miles, and I haven't really felt much of a difference, but it has been relatively flat. I have had a tailwind. Into a pretty strong headwind, and I can definitely feel a little bit of assistance now from the bike. That's actually pretty cool. It makes the headwind just feel a little bit less savage. Just takes the edge off a little bit. We've got another couple of miles, 3 or 4 miles of headwind, and then we'll get into the climbs and the route, and then we'll see how the bike performs when it starts going uphill. Look at that big orange thing in the sky. What a mega day. One thing I am definitely noticing is I don't have to change gear as much, because when I start going slower, maybe I go up a little bit of a rise into a headwind, the motor just kicks in and brings me back up to speed. Here's Stony Lane. Here we go, the steep start to the climb. I think this is where we're going to see the biggest difference. I mean, I'm already feeling a difference. I'm flying up here and I'm barely pedaling. Honestly, this is incredible, man. I'm barely out of breath. I can happily talk to the camera. And I'm moving quick, certainly quicker than I was yesterday. This is the steepest part of the climb. We're at about 13% now. And I mean, hopefully the camera shows how fast we're moving. We're moving fast. This is actually incredible. As you can see from the Strava Live segment right here, we did that climb in 4 minutes 18. Yesterday was 5 minutes 53. 1 minute 30-ish quicker. And I didn't try. And today, I didn't try. I'm still not as quick as my KOM, as my fastest time there, but hey, I'm not a million miles off. Ride number 2 done. That's another 27.9 kilometers. Now let's head to the computer and take a look at the data. Bearing in mind this was a relatively flat route with just a couple of short climbs, when I compare the 2 rides, it didn't feel massively different on the flat when I was riding solo. I did notice some assistance for sure in the headwind. However, the SLE really came into a league of its own on the climbs. The steeper the climb, the more of an advantage I felt. I absolutely flew up Stony Lane, if I do say so myself, and by the time I got to the top, I certainly wasn't out of breath. As I mentioned, ride number 1 was on a conventional road bike, and I did the 27.9 kilometer route in a time of 56 minutes and 6 seconds, and this created a stress score of 13, exactly 13. Interestingly though, after riding at what felt like a similar effort after the second ride, I had also the exact same stress score of 13, the exact same number. 13. How mad's that? And therefore the physical stress, the physical strain on my body was exactly the same. Like, this wasn't planned. I had no data to go off on the electric bike. It was just purely on feel. And then when we take a look at the totals of the ride, it was 2 minutes and 52 seconds quicker. I did the second ride in a total time of 53 minutes and 16 seconds. It almost seems set up, and I can assure you it was not. I had my Wahoo in my pocket. I had the same start point and the same finish point for both of the rides. And as I approached the finish, I took the Wahoo out of my pocket and just stopped it. So in short, can you still get fit riding an electric bicycle? Hell yeah, you just do it by moving faster.